Hello, my name is Todd Durkin. Welcome to this video, Joint Integrity. Joint integrity is a combination of work using balance, small muscles to help build a strong foundation. It is said that if you want to build a monument, you must first build a strong foundation. The movements that you see in this video are all going to be to help build joint integrity. There's going to be a lot of different movements and some implements that we use to help you be a better athlete. Let's get started. I have the opportunity to work with athletes of all different levels. The same exercise you see here are the same exercise our elite athletes, our Major League Baseball players, NFL athletes, and other elite athletes are going to get to use. The first thing we're going to use is what's called here a resistance tube, which can be placed around the ankles or the hands to develop the joint integrity in the glutes and the hips as well as the shoulders. Now the exercise that you're going to see here, we're going to demonstrate properly, and we're going to get started right now. Athlete is going to step into the cuff, all the way in. They can brace you around the shoulder, and we're going to actually cuff it on in. And you want to make sure that this cuff, they step inside the cuff so that when they're doing this, they get proper resistance. Too many of our athletes start in the weight room and they don't do these small muscles, and they go right to weights and they don't have a proper structure underneath their body. These exercises we're going to start with are imperative that you do from an early age all the way up through the bigs. Let's get started with our first exercise. The first one's called Dirty Dogs. Dirty Dogs is a great exercise for the hips and the glutes. You're going to take your knee, you're going to raise it out to the side, up and away. And as they do this movement 10 to 15 times, it's very important that they keep their toe dorsiflexed, which means taking your toes to your nose. Back and forth, we're just going to roll back and forth on that. This gets into the glutes, the hip rotators and the glutes. Very important to do that they do not rotate their shoulders and hips one way. Let's switch up the sides, go left side. As an assessor, I want to make sure that the right side's equal to the left. So if one side's weaker than another, I need to know that as a coach, because if those hips are weaker on one side, that could mean that they are favoring cutting one side or the other, because if this hip is stronger, this hip's stronger over here, I may really enjoy and be better at cutting to the left, or vice versa. I want equal strength in those hips so that I can cut equally both ways. The next one after Dirty Dogs is called horseback riding. Horseback riding now, very similar motion. We're now going to round on the horse 10 times as we continuously move forward 10 and backward 10. Now the horseback riding, very important because the hip joint's a ball and socket joint. And most of our exercise and movements that we do not incorporate a rotational kind of movement. The on the horse, off the horse, horseback riding movement incorporates that. Now we'll go backwards, same leg backwards, okay? The resistance tubes placed around the ankles right now are outstanding to help produce that joint integrity in the hips, in the glutes, which again, if you're looking to produce performance, it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips on that. Once we get our 10 that way, we'll switch up the direction. We'll go horseback riding on the other side. And once again, you're not trying to deviate and rotate to one side. You're trying to keep the hips as square as possible, shoulders as square as possible as well on that. So as we do this here, you're trying to get a nice big range of motion. Does the range of motion on one side, is it different than the other side? If so, we may know we have a flexibility deficit in those hips as well. So that is the horseback riding, on the horse, off the horse, which is very important on that. Let's go next to our 45-degree straight-legged extension. What we'll do as our athlete stretches out in the child's pose in between each one, sometimes their glutes will be feeling that, so they can stretch in between that and really lengthen out the lower back and the hips and the glutes. As they come back into all fours, or the bulldog position or fire plug position, they can take their leg out to the side, toe is down to the ground, heel is up. As they bring that out 45 degrees, just a little bit more, they get the resistance of that tube, and they're going to lift from their glute about 10 times. Okay? As we lift it up, we extend from the hip. It's important that you keep your toe pointing down to the ground. Okay, 45-degree straight leg extension. Let's switch up the side other way. Hey, back and forth. You really try to take that leg out to the side, lifting with your glute and hip. Once again, if you're trying to produce a great athlete, too many of us really focus on the front side of the body. The back side is very important. The calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back, the mid back are all very important to really produce a strong, powerful, fast athlete. So that's the 45-degree straight-legged extension, which gets into the glutes. Now, very similar motion, we'll go with a straight-legged extension. The leg now extends straight back behind the body. The toe, once again, keeps that dorsiflexion. Make sure it's tucked under the body because that's reinforcing good mechanics of the toe up toward the nose. And we just extend very powerfully explosive up toward the sky. Okay? Once again, we get between 5 to 10 of those. That resistance tube here is just producing a nice resistance to increase the intensity of the movement, which will help improve joint integrity in that body. We switch it on up other way. Okay, straight-legged hip extensions, back and forth. Good. Nice. So we had 45-degree straight-legged extensions and straight-legged extensions, straight on back on that. Athletes, if we can just roll onto our back, feet in this way here, we're going to do a little bit of stomach work, give them a little reprieve on the hips because, were you feeling that, guys? Yeah. Absolutely, they're feeling that big time in those hips and glutes. Your hip complex is very important. If you want to have strong hips, use the cords, use the tubes because that'll really help you out. Now we do an exercise here called the Hello Dollies, or a crunch and a open up the legs. So the legs are going to be open at least at 90-90, and as you crunch up the upper body, you're going to open your feet and your knees. Okay? I often see too many people leave their feet in, they open their knees, but they're not getting the resistance. You want to try to separate the feet. Our athletes here are doing a great job really trying to open up those feet. Okay, which helps strengthen the glutes as well as activates the core. The core is part of joint integrity. Okay, so this helps open up that whole hip complex, strengthen out those abductors are outside of the hips, and relax, take a rest. Let's say we get about 20 of those, okay? 10 to 20 repetitions on that. I like to do a couple different sets on those Hello Dollies where you're opening your legs, you're squeezing up. As we do another set, I want you to look and see as they crunch up, it's important you keep your elbows back and your chest up. Too many people do a neck crunch instead of a stomach crunch. Keeping your elbows back will really help the core get involved on that. So let's just take a peek here and see as they bring their hands behind their head, you're not pulling on your neck, but you're lifting and extending your chest toward the sky. As you crunch up, open up the legs and lifting on up. By imagining your elbows staying back will naturally lift the torso so your stomach gets involved. Excellent job, and relax, take a rest. Awesome. Really good work on that for the core, along with our bicycle and rotates. Our bicycle and rotates now are phenomenal once again for the core and the obliques. We're getting a rotational component and we're getting some hip flexor involvement, some psoas involvement as we pump our legs. So as you see them actually take their opposite elbow and knee, they're actually extending their feet through resistance. Okay, and this is very important because as you see their knees, it's like they're pumping when they're running back and forth. So they're pumping those knees up and down, and you have the resistance doing that as they're getting their stomach involved. So bicycle and rotates are an outstanding movement for the stomach as well as the hip flexors and the legs. Excellent job on that. And relax. Athletes, if we can come on up to our feet here, great job. Now, what you just saw there was a lot of work using the cords and the tubes placed around the ankle. And what we're going to do now is we're actually going to come into a position, we're going to take the cuffs off of the feet, we're going to put them around our wrists. And one of the nice things about these pieces of equipment are they're very versatile. You can do all of this work for your ankles, for your lower body, as well as your upper body. So what you're going to see now is as they place it around the wrist, now we're going to do some upper body movements. And the nice thing here when you see this is there's going to be a great work in the shoulders between the shoulder blades. And too many people are weak between the shoulder blades. This work right here is going to be phenomenal for producing excellent results in the shoulder blades. Let's come down into push-up position, facing the cameras. You're going to come into push-up position. One of the things that you want to do when you're doing this is you want to make sure your hands are stacked directly under your shoulder blades. Come into the push-up position where your knees are off the ground. And nice and easy, what we're going to do is we're just going to do some steps, okay? We're going to step up and step back, okay? Step up, step back, and then we're going to switch back and forth. We're actually just going to be stepping now back and forth, and then we can step in different directions, multi-angle steps back and forth. As we step nice and wide, you can see, okay, not only are your shoulder blades and arms getting involved, but your core is getting involved. We're back and we're forth. I like to do this typically between 20 to 30 seconds, okay, back and forth. And relax, take a rest. Now, as you're doing all your joint integrity work for your hips, let's say your dirty dogs, your horseback riding, your 45-degree straight-legged extension, there's nothing wrong with throwing these different movements in on your upper body also. So one more time we're going to do is we're going to be here, we're going to do our 12, 3, 6 o'clock, 12, 3, 6, and repeat on the other side. 12, 3, 6 with your hand movement. Let's give that a shot. Okay, back and forth. 12, reach, come back. 3, reach, come back. 6, come back. Switch up the hands other way. Okay, you're using your cords now, your cuffs, around your hand. Phenomenal resistance for the shoulders and the arms. Good. And coming on back and relax, take a rest. Coming back, let's just drop back here a little bit. One of the nice things what we can do with these cuffs also, inchworms. You saw them in the dynamic warm-up before. Now we do the same thing. As you walk your hands out, now you're gonna walk your feet in. You're getting a resistance component. Let's just try the inchworms, a few going up and a few going down on the inchworms. Step, 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 step. Very nice. As they come out, you see their cords going nice and low. They get a beautiful stretch in that hamstring region. They step up. Good. And let's reverse the directions coming on backwards now. We do it forward, we do it backward. Coming on back. Nice. And then we step, step. Good. Nice. And coming on back and down to your knees and relax. Take a rest. Awesome. So those shoulder blades are working. Guys, were you feeling that between those shoulders and arms? The shoulder blades are really important to work. If you don't work your shoulder blades and you get a rounded syndrome here, upper cross syndrome, you're gonna be predisposed for neck, okay, and shoulder injuries. We wanna really work the shoulder blades, and what's one of the best things we can do with that? As we have our athletes stand up to our feet coming on up, what we're gonna see is, guys, if we can come on over here behind the cone, we're gonna do a little lateral shuffle here. We're gonna do a lateral shuffle now with our hands. We're gonna continue working the arms, and we're gonna do it back and forth with the cuffs on our hands, okay? So we're gonna do a lateral shuffle, okay? And what you do is start slow, keep constant pressure, and step, step. I want you to keep constant tension on those bands. Let it never get perfect, just like that. That looks great. Back and forth, and you stay there. Now, Josh, just go back to right. Good. And you notice he's squeezing, keeping the shoulder blades. Good athletic position. He's nice and low, his core is strong. Back and forth, he's squeezing between the shoulder blades. Excellent job, and relax. Good, and switch it on up. Upper body's working, okay? Now coming on back, good, step. Good, stay nice and low, athletic position. Notice you've got different tension bands, okay, which is very important. Excellent, now let's go the other way. You wanna keep constant tension on those cuffs, on the bands. Never let it get slack so you have constant tension. Good. And relax. Good. And if you can go again, if you can face me, I want you to do the same exact exercise. Facing me. Now, keep constant tension. I want you to squeeze your blade. If you can notice the back side of her back squeezing and go shuffle. Good. You're really trying to squeeze the back. And if you can see her backside working, that's what we're after. We're trying to get the squeeze of the back. Okay, bingo. Coming on back, going the other way. We switch it on up. That's what we're after. You see those cuffs working? Back and forth. Squeezing, squeezing. You can do it. You don't need a heavy resistance to get great results. And relax. Good, athletes, come on in this way, please. If you can demonstrate how you would take those cuffs off your hands and place them back onto your ankles, that'd be great. So, as we're doing these different movements, look how easy it was. They uncuffed it, they're putting it on the ankles now. As they step inside, they must step inside, and they're gonna lock those cuffs in nice and tight. So these resistance cuffs are awesome to help produce joint integrity in our upper body and our lower body. It helps produce strength. Don't go to the big muscles first. Go to the small muscles. The small muscles help build the joint integrity, which build your foundation, which then you can build this great monument upon. If you don't have a great foundation, the monument's gonna crumble. And if you're doing squats and cleans and all the wonderful exercises that we do later on, once we develop that, you're gonna be stronger. You develop unbelievable personal records, PRs, if you do these things. We want a comprehensive athlete. We don't want the joints to break before the muscles. We want a strong foundation. As we come back behind the cones now, you're gonna see the similar motion that you just saw there, okay? We're gonna do some different exercises now for joint integrity of the lower body. So, if we can now, before we actually start our lateral shuffles, can we do our little, coming over this way here, and we're just gonna do our little walks, pop, pop, okay? Just like you do in your prisoner walks, we're just gonna pop it on up, back and forth. Andy, you can get going right behind them. Good, just coming up right back and forth. We're just doing our prisoner walks. Okay, you saw this in the dynamic warm-up. This again helps build some of that hip flexor strength, back and forth. Nice, excellent job on that. The cords here are acting as resistance. Let's come on back. Now, next one, we're gonna do a little 45-degree K-step. You're gonna be up, step, step, step. 45 degrees, we're stepping. The more you step, the bigger you step, the harder it's gonna be. Excellent for the inside of the legs, the groins, as well as your outside as you step out. Okay, we're stepping in. Now go backwards. Okay, going backward. He just mixes up. He went forward, he goes backwards. Okay, like a drop step. Imagine a football lineman who's doing his drop step. Bam. Okay, he's doing his drop step. He's doing his drop step back and forth. Excellent movement. And let's try the same thing on that. You see now the hips are working as well as the legs. Good, 45 degrees in step. Okay, like into a lunge, 45 degrees, back and forth. These cuffs here are acting as resistance tubes. Let's go backwards now. Good, 45 degrees, back, back, back. Awesome. That's the way to keep that chest up. You want to keep that chest up on that. And go. And relax, take a little bit of a rest. Good, right like that. You can feel that working on that. Now we're gonna start our lateral shuffles. Okay, our lateral shuffles. Our first athlete, Josh, is gonna come up and he's gonna be shuffling, okay, sideways. I want him to keep constant tension on those legs. So Josh, if we can just take a nice slow walk. Good, keep constant tension. Good, we typically go from cone to cone. And nice, and let's go back other way. He went right, he's going left. He wants to keep constant tension. Let's go flex T position. You keep those arms up, keep the shoulder blades squeezed to help protect that lower body. Excellent job on that, and a nice work. Okay, stay low, keep the weight low, athletic position. We're staying nice and low. Good squeeze. There you go, good squeeze. He's doing a great job keeping the resistance on the tube there, coming on back. Great for those lower body, those hips. Imagine if you're a basketball player and you're shuffling side to side. You don't want to get your feet all the way in because you're going to trip. You keep your center of gravity low and you shuffle back and forth. Now we're going to increase the speed of this. Stay low. Once again, put yourself on the court, on a playing field, and you're shuffling. You want to keep your toes, people, in front of you. You don't want to be turning this way. You want to keep your toes facing this way, and there should be no flight phase where you're actually jumping and hopping. You should be stepping, 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 back and forth. Okay, keep constant tension. Let's give this a shot, okay? Good, coming back. That's it. Good, and a go, nice. Good, a little shuffle here. Increase the speed, stay low, keep that tension. Don't get those toes clicking, keep the distance. Excellent job, and relax. Typically we do that a couple times, but I'm gonna add a little component to give you a little fun, have a little intensity on this one. Now, when you're talking about reaction, okay, reaction, we're gonna add a reaction drill along with the joint integrity. Same drill. Upon the clap, athlete's gonna switch directions. Let's give it a shot. Every time you hear a clap, switch directions. And through, very nice. They've got to listen to that and react to that. They've got to listen to some kind of stimulus. They've got to hear and react to. And the same thing, coming on up. Let's see how she does. Stay nice and low. Quick, quick, quick. Stay low. And through, nice. Notice she gets up too high. Her balance is going to be off. We want to keep nice and low and be able to react. Drop your hips and push. Drop your hips and push. Now let's come on up. This time, athlete's gonna react to a touch. When I touch them, they're gonna feel a stimulus, then they have to change directions. Let's give it a shot. Josh? Through. There you go, all the way through. Excellent job. So he reacted to a touch. Now I'm gonna make this person think. Now I'm gonna touch him, and I like for her to react on the second touch. And she's gonna go in the direction on the second touch that I touch her. If I touch her 1, 2, she's gonna go in that direction. If I go 1, 2, she's gonna go in the direction I touch her on the second touch. She must now think cognitively while she's performing a certain skill. So on that second touch, let's see what she does. Start to move. Good. Ah, yeah, see that? Good, relax. You're gonna stay up. So while she was shuffling this way, I kept her shuffling this way. Her automatic response go the opposite way. But I touch her the same way. She must think, and the same thing. Okay? So, second touch, she must react. Let's keep them thinking. Good. Good, and through. Very nice job. Excellent. Excellent work. Now, all that type of work, okay, as we're doing, that's important. We're working those hips. We're working those hips. Same exact thing. Athlete, let's step on up. I'm going to incorporate some hand-eye coordination as we're doing this. Let's try this. Same exact thing. Ready? Go. Right back to me. Good. Back. Good. Good. Switch. Good. Switch. Every time you catch it. Good. Good. Nice. and through. Good job. Excellent job. Nice work, Josh. Good. So as we're doing this, now you got to shuffle. You have resistance on your legs. You're building up those hips, and you got to catch. Same thing, Anna. Okay, same thing. She's shuffling. As she catches the ball, she throws it back. Let's say you're a volleyball player. You can have the person just throw the ball down the ground if you want to. I like to have them catch it back and forth. Okay, ready, and go. Good. Hand-eye coordination. Shuffle. Just keep shuffling. Back and forth. Good. Back and forth. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Come on. Come on. That's all right. That's okay. Good. And through. Go get it. Nice. As the athlete tires, she's going to have a tendency to have the head go down. We want to stay low and keep the athletic position so we can always react to what we're doing. It doesn't matter if it's little juggling balls, tennis balls, footballs, basketballs, having objects. It keeps it fun and exciting when you're doing those different types of movements as well. So these are just some different things that you can do as they're doing those movements. Shuffling is very, very important. So we did forward, we did sideways, and you really felt those hips. Athletes, were you feeling your hips on those? Good. As we keep those in there, notice how we did different auditory and visual stimuli on that. The last one we're going to do on that is they got to react and tell me a number as they're doing the same thing. So Josh, if you can come on out into the front. Okay. Nice. I also like to sometimes use different color balls. And they have a yellow ball and a blue ball. And they got to throw the yellow ball down, but they got to catch the blue ball. They've got to do different types of things. Right now, we're just going to react. You got to tell me the number. We're side shuffling back and forth. Okay? Just shuffling back and forth numbers. Okay? Ready? And go. 2. Good. 4. Good. 1. 2. Nice. 2. And through. Good. That's the way. Good. So we just back and forth. That's good. Anna, one time. Good. Stay in low athletic position, reacting to a number. Last one on this one. Ready? And go. Good. Nice. And through. Very nice. And relax. Excellent job on that one there. Good. Cuffs can come off, guys. So what we're going to do on that, when we're doing the cuff work, notice it could be on the hands, it can be on the feet. But when we're working the cuffs, it's awesome to help promote joint integrity. The cuffs are just one aspect of building joint integrity, and that is a progression. You don't need to start with the cuffs, but the cuffs give us a wonderful, wonderful addition to help build the monument. And if we're looking to build that monument, remember we have to first have a strong foundation. The foundation is built with those cuffs around the ankles and they're built around the hands. So we're going to progress now into a different exercise. That was a wonderful hip circuit to strengthen up all the areas in those hips, the glutes, the hip rotators, the piriformis, which are all very important when producing peak performance. We're now going to continue to work on the lower body, but we're going to do a lot of balance work. And we're going to add a balance pad. Now the balance pad here is a wonderful tool that we can use to really, really increase the intensity when working on balance. If you want to really increase your balance and help your speed, agility, and quickness, balance is essential to work. If you have any type of injuries in your lower body, your ankles, your knees, or your hips, balance work is very imperative to work so that you can prehab and rehab your body back into shape. We're going to show you a myriad of different exercises and progress you through simple to complex so you can see what it takes to improve balance, which helps promote joint integrity. Let's take a peek at what we do here. Now, when you do balance work, you can go shoes on or shoes off. Shoes on is going to be easier than shoes off. If our athlete here, Josh, is going to take his shoes off, he's going to have a little more challenge than Anna, who keeps her shoes on. My request to you is when you start, don't use a balance pad. Start with the ground with shoes on. When you feel all these movements are simple, then take your shoes off and then progress up to the balance pad, which is going to be really challenging with a balance pad and bare feet. Let's take a peek at what we do. First one, athletes, if we could just come up onto the balance pad on one leg, and we're just going to balance on up and see if you can stabilize with the toe on up. Now as they do that, this is helping promote speed mechanics by keeping the toes dorsiflexed. Dorsiflex means toes to the nose, that way there. And if we want to make it more challenging, we can always have athlete close eyes for just a split second, and then you can see that little wobble and then switch up the sides. Vision is very important in balance. So anytime we want to increase the intensity, we can have them close their eyes also. We switch up the sides. We stabilize first with eyes open, stabilize, dorsiflex toe, foot, ankle, Close eyes for a few seconds, stabilize, and relax. Take a little bit of a rest. We want to have static balance first, where they're just being able to maintain their body without losing control. When we talk about balance, vision is important and center of gravity is important. The lower you are, the better your center of gravity. So you want to drop your weight down, bend your knees. You drop your weight by bending your knees. Now, we're going to do a little bit of hand-eye coordination as we're balancing. One foot's going to be up, balancing on that pad, and we're just going to be touching the nose with with hands, okay? So hands go out wide, drop your center of gravity by bending your knee, and then we're just going to touch back and forth. I like to do this somewhere between 15 to 30 seconds. And we're just back and forth. Okay? We want to do this on both feet always, right side and left side, and relax, take a rest. So as we switch up, this is a great assessment tool if one side is different than another when it comes to balance. And if I find a difference, I know that I need to go into those hips, because hips are so important. If you were to look at their feet as they're just stabilizing here, especially Josh with no shoes on, you can see the feet shaking and shivering. That's good. All the small muscles, the plantar aponeurosis and fascia of the bottom of the feet are working. And relax, take a rest. So that's just some static balance work that you can do to help promote lower body joint integrity. As we do this again, now I'm going to touch them in different parts of their body, and they have to react to that touch and touch it as quickly as they can. Let's give it a shot. Okay, and you can just hold for a second if you like to. So you're going to touch, touch. If I go 2, he's got to go 2. Wherever I touch, he's got to touch as quickly as he can. There you go, good. Nice, that's a way to recover. Nice. Ah, and very good. Now we'll come on over to Anna. Notice, always try to outsmart your athlete and see how they react. Give them some multi-sensory environments there on that. So what we'll do here, we'll touch. Good. 1, 2. Very good. And relax, good. So what we're doing there, when we're touching the athlete, they've got to react to that touch, okay? And that's a very important thing, that they can react on that. Now, as they step up on the balance pad into a one-legged balance touch, this is one of the first progressions where we get more dynamic. The balance touch, one leg, balance touch, we come down to the ground and we stand straight back on up. If we're an overhead athlete, I like to keep the flex T position, because that's going to help strengthen the shoulder blades. We come down and we come up. The knee can bend on this, so we're going down as low as you can comfortably and then coming right back on up. Let's give that a shot. Bending the knee as you come down, keeping your core strong. Balance and core strength go hand in hand. If you don't have good core strength, you're not going to have great balance. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, I like to do about 10 to 15 of these balance touches. If you're testing an athlete, you may want to do this for 30 to 60 seconds. I often like to do it for 60 seconds and see how many repetitions you can do in that 60-second period for a test. Let's switch up the sides. Okay. In a 60-second time period, which is more of a testing time period, you know, some of the more elite athletes are going to get between 30 to 35 repetitions in that time period. If you see that one side is 30 in a 60-second period and the other side is only 20, you're going to see a natural imbalance that needs to be corrected. Otherwise, injury will occur and lack or decrement of performance will occur as well. So that's a one-legged balance touch, and relax. If you want to make it more challenging, put a medicine ball in the hand, put some dumbbells in the hand, put something to add resistance, which will make it more challenging on that. As we do the next one, we're just going to come out as far as we can into a one-legged balance reach forward. Let's take a look at our athletes do these. Right here, one-legged balance reach forward. That's it. As they do this, their core stays nice and strong. Give him the medicine ball, which is going to make it more challenging for him if you want to. So he's got bare feet on a balance pad with a medicine ball, which makes it extremely challenging on that. Don't progress there if you're not ready for it. You want to be able to see perfect form, which is keeping his back straight. He's going as far as he can. And relax, take a rest. Let's switch up the sides. I also like to add some implements to give them an actual goal to shoot for. When you're doing that one-legged balance reach forward, let's make believe that they've got to get over a goal line. So if I give them an implement like a football, now they have to progress over the goal line, which keeps it fun and exciting. So as we do the one-legged balance reach forward now they have an implement that they've got to go over the goal line. or I can put that on the line and then you just go straight on out. That's okay. You reach out as far as you can, try to break the plane, make the referee see that the ball is breaking the plane. As we're doing that, we do about 5 to 10. The longer you hold out, the harder it is. Let's see if you can break that line. There you go. And as you break that line, good. I also like to do some things where they've got to hold on to the ball. I try to knock that ball out of hands because you can't fumble that ball. Okay, that's it. That's a good job. So now it's dynamic because now I'm actually working them and trying to push them over so they lose their balance. I'm giving them a more increased challenge as you do your one-legged balance reach forwards. Very nice job. And relax. One-legged balance reach forward, there's a lot of different ways that you can do that, but you don't need to do it with bare feet on a balance pad with a weighted ball. You can start on the ground. What you just saw there is a little bit increased activity, a little more intensity with that. Great job on that. One-legged balance reach forwards. Excellent activity, really reaching forward, extending that trunk as long as you can. Now we do a one-legged balance throw. We're gonna take the ball up and we're actually gonna come down, touch the ball to the ground, come right back up, demonstrating great control with the body. A one-legged balance throw, okay? Right now you can just hold on to that ball if you can. Okay, it doesn't matter what you have, it doesn't matter how you hold it. We're just gonna come all the way up and then throw. Perfect. Okay, we do wanna make sure that it's opposite arm and leg. Okay, good. Back and forth as you do that. And let's switch up the sides. Okay, and you can hold a football, you can hold little tennis balls, you can hold little juggling balls. So if you want to, you can hold this, it doesn't matter. It's good to mix up the sensory environment. Here you go, you try that. Okay, mix it up. Even if it's a non-football player, give him a football, give him a basketball, give him different things to hold on to as you're doing that. Excellent job, one-legged balance throws. And relax, take a rest. Bingo. Excellent. Now, one-legged balance throw, we added a rotational component, which makes it more challenging, which makes it harder for the athlete to compete and to stabilize at that body. But sport is all about rotation. We must have a rotational component. So that's a little bit more of an advanced technique with the rotation. If you add a medicine ball, that makes it very challenging. The three-point balance touch is a great exercise to really look at flexibility and range of motion as well as balance of the lower body. What we do here is we keep the lower body down low. We do a three-point balance touch. We reach out as far as we can forward, we come back, we touch to the side, and then we come back as far as we can. The important component to this is that this leg that's on the balance pad does not move. So once it's here, it's set. It does not move forward here, move sideways, it's set. So when I'm moving forward, it's never moving. I'm back as far as we can. Three-point balance touch is great exercise for balance. I like to have my athletes typically do between 5 to 10 three-point balance touches. Let's give this a shot and just demonstrate some control on the three-point balance touch. Stay low, really activate those glutes. There you go, get those glutes going. Nice. Staying low, back and forth. Awesome. And one more time around, staying low. Again, you can use a medicine ball. You can use footballs, basketballs, you can use nothing. Switch up the sides one time. We do want to have balance in the sides. If you find one side's weaker than another, then have them work that extra side, that weaker side a little bit more. Great. All the way around. Excellent job. And relax, take a rest. Good. The three-point balance touch, I like to mix up those different stimuli there and have them use some different implements. Regardless, even if they're a football player, have them use different implements. It doesn't always have to be a football, just to get used to holding on to different apparatuses there. Now, we're going to take a look at a towel drill. Now, Josh here is going to use a towel with his work. We've got a lot of different things that we can use. Now, the towel drill is a great exercise for an overhead athlete, such as a quarterback, such as a baseball pitcher, a volleyball player coming up. He's going to take the towel and he's going to put it through his fingers as is. And you can see that there. He's going to stabilize on the pad. Again, this could be done on a flat ground. And he's just going to start nice and easy. He's going to start with a little flicking of his wrist. He's going to lengthen that body out as far as he can if he's a pitcher toward home plate. Imagine he's got a glove on right now and he's going at it. And relax, take a rest. Now, I, as the parent or the trainer, as you're watching this video, are going to come down and give them something to hit. So now he's going to stabilize and he's going to come on out and he's going to hit this pad, okay, whatever you want. Good. You want to make sure it's far enough out that they have to reach and go get it. Also, warn your athlete that they don't hit you. This is a chance for them to get back at you. You don't want that. You want them to really focus on the pad, coming on out. Excellent job. And extend it so they have to reach. One more. Awesome, awesome. Now Josh does that real well. He's got a record. He does about 42 of those at a time, which is extremely challenging. And as you do that, you want to make sure when his right foot's down, it's as equal as his left foot. Because if he is a left-handed pitcher, when his right foot is out, he may be stronger in that position because he's used to that motion of stepping and throwing as a lefty. As a rotational athlete, you want to make sure you have balance, symmetry between your feet, ankles, knees, hips, lower back, as well as your shoulders, so that you don't break down and you don't get injured. So the balance towel drill, okay, is an excellent drill to help with all of the rotation of an athlete, whether it be right-handed or left-handed. Now Ann is going to come up and stabilize on the balance pad on one leg. And as she does it, I'm now going to throw her different objects, and she's got to catch the objects, okay? So as she's doing that, if you could just turn and face me just a little bit, perfect, like that, and she's going to be just catching objects, okay? And as I do that, whoops, there we go, back and forth, you can see, okay, she's got a challenge on balance, whoops, there we go, up and back and forth, okay? And as she does that, catching, okay, Josh, if you can step up, as I'm doing the catching, Josh is now going to try to juggle 3 balls, okay, as he's doing balance. Now, juggling is a tough skill by itself. Try doing it while balancing, okay, and that's extremely good. Let's come on up. Now, juggling also works on a different part of the brain. You got right brain, left brain, and I like the fact that juggling works on different parts of the brain. So when you're juggling while balancing, that makes it extremely challenging to do juggling and balancing at the same time. You want to go on both feet, hand-eye coordination, so you're thinking about a lot of different things. What I also like to do too, while he's performing a motion, if he gets good at this, I'll sit here and ask him random questions about things that have nothing to do with the actual performance, which will take his mind off the task at hand. So if I ask him as he's doing this, Josh, what's your birthday? Good. Relax. Good. What's your mom's name? Good. What's your parents' anniversary? Oh, see? Now, when I ask these questions, some of these questions they may not even know, but when they think about them, it takes the task at hand and they actually fail to perform what we're asking for. So imagine if you're a baseball pitcher, you got a guy, 3-2 count, bottom of the ninth. You got to think about that, but you have a guy on second base that you have to think about also. Can you perform 2 tasks at the same time? You're a quarterback, you go up to the line of scrimmage. You read a defense, you see cover 2 defense. You got blitzing linebackers, you got to make a check, you have to audible. What are you going to do? Can you think about the play that was called, as well as the defense that you see, as well as the check that you have to do? Can you think about 2 or more things at the same time? All these drills try to go into thinking about multitasking, different tasks at the same time. So those are some hand-eye coordination drills while balancing that will help you build joint integrity. I'm now going to show you some exciting things you can do with an extra tube with a sleeve to help promote joint integrity of your upper body, particularly your rotator cuff. One thing to note is this sleeve is a protective mechanism to protect your extra tube. When you're tying it around a fence, a goal post, a soccer goal, or any other type of iron or steel piece of equipment, it will prevent the extra tube from ripping. So when you do place it around your implement, you want to make sure the sleeve is actually around the steel aspect. So when you come on through, you want to make sure that that sleeve is around there. This sleeve will give the extra tube some longevity and some long life. Let's now show you some exercises using the extra tube with a sleeve. The first one is going to be internal and external rotation for the rotator cuff. We have 2 athletes here, Anna and Josh, doing the internal external rotation. The first thing to do is they're going to keep their elbow nice and tight to the rib cage, and without leaning, they're just going to be in and out. The nice thing about the extra tube is they can adjust the resistance more or less by where they stand. If they want it harder, they step further away. If they would like it easier, they'll step a little closer to the implement, today being a goal post, in and out. Now, once we do about 5 to 10 of those, I also like to lead with the pinky. Okay, we're just rotated now, and now we'll lead with pinky. They rotate their hand down, and they're going to lead with pinky. This changes the way that the shoulder or rotator cuff is being worked. Remember that shoulder is a ball and socket joint. Then we're going to rotate, and we're going to lead with the thumb. So we're going to lead with thumb this time. I like to often do 5, 5, 5. 5 regular, 5 leading with pinky, 5 leading with thumb. That will produce a nice burning in that rotator cuff. And then we'll switch it on up and we'll face the other way. Now when you work in the rotator cuff and internal external rotation, you want to make sure that your elbow stays tight and you stay away from leaning. Stay nice and tight, keep the shoulder blades pinched, and we're now working internal external rotation. You can see Anna here keeping her elbow nice and tight. When she gets to 5 here, she's then going to take her thumb, place it away, and then work that external rotation supraspinatus nice and easy there. You can see her back working nicely all the way. The athlete's going to feel that behind them. You often will see people getting their shoulder blades away from them on this exercise. And the nice thing about this is it's often done in a rehabilitation setting, but it's great for prehab of the shoulder. So we do 5, 5, 5 of the internal and external rotations. The next thing we do is we're going to turn and face the implement. Again, the nice thing about the extra tube with a sleeve is you can use it around really anything. At your house, you can use it around a door, in a goalpost, around a fence, around a telephone pole, whatever you like, you can use that. Next thing we're going to do is called a scarecrow. Okay, the scarecrow now is you're going to keep your elbows nice and high, pinch your shoulder blades back. Imagine you're putting a chopstick between your shoulder blades, keeping your elbows high. You're just going to activate your hands nice and high that way, and then come back down to starting position. The scarecrows are typically done between 10 to 15 repetitions. Once again, you can adjust your intensity by moving forward or backward. It's more important to start light and feel a pinch and a burn in those shoulders. That's good. You want to really adjust 10 to 15 of those back and forth on those scarecrows. 10 to 15. Wonderful for the overhead athlete. If you're looking to really get those shoulders nice and strong, get a few extra miles an hour on your fastball, or to increase your velocity when you're throwing a football, this work is imperative. It must be done. Now let's flip around, guys, and we're going to do the reverse scarecrows. Okay, so flip it on around. Okay, we're going to flip it on around that way. And the first thing we do is we're going to keep our stay nice and close to the goalpost, staggered position with our feet, one foot in front of the other. Elbows are high, and the exact opposite now. We're just going to take our hands up toward the sky and then come on up. Let's just step back a little bit, Anna. Come on back a little bit more, and then hands up nice and high. Really, there you go. Good. That looks great. So we're bringing that up nice and high. Hands come on up. Reverse scarecrows now. We're going the exact opposite way, still working the rotator. Okay, back and forth. And then we're going to go into a full reverse scarecrow. Now what we're going to do is we do this. You're going to extend your arms all the way back, protract shoulders, then lead with elbows, and then hands. So versus just that, which we're doing there in reverse scarecrows, now let's extend the arms all the way back, retract, protract, lead with the elbows, hands come up nice and high. Wonderful once again for the entire shoulder. Okay, 3-point, protract. Good, Anna. Excellent job. You can see a nice 3-point position here as she protracts forward, elbows, hands. Excellent job on that. Really awesome work for the shoulders. If you want big strapping shoulders that are strong and you can throw a ball without getting hurt and increase your velocity, here are your exercises, folks. These are the exercises that must be done. Extra tube with a sleeve. Very simple, basic exercises, equipment that will help you produce phenomenal results. That's the reverse scarecrows. Great job on that. Next thing we're going to do on this is, reverse flies with straight arms. You're going to open all the way out with straight arms, pinch your shoulder blades back as far as you can, holding for a split second, and then back and forth. Stay nice and close, and you can see that working. Stay nice and close because you want to feel the pinch. The pinch is absolutely essential. You can see that shoulder blade opening. Once again, 10 to 15. Exhale, breathe through the hard part of the motion. The breath is very important in all exercises. Exhale through that hard part of the motion and squeezing. There we go. Nice, good, solid posture. Okay. Really working the backside rotator cuff and posterior deltoid with that straight arm on this one. Good. And relax, take a rest. Our final one here is going to be a John Travolta using an extra tube with the sleeve. Now the John Travolta okay, is a motion where we're going to use the extra tube and we're going to go be back and forth with thumbs down and in. So if we look here, what we're going to do is with this is you're going to see the thumb go up and away, down and in, okay? Thumb goes down and in, up and away. So you're going to see a rotational component with this hand. As she comes up and away, she'll go down and in and up and away, okay? The further you're away, the harder it is. John Travolta, as they step further away, that increases the resistance of the extra tube, making it more challenging. Once we get 10 to 15 of those, we feel a burn, we'll try the other side. If you detect a weakness on one side versus the other, then let's work that weaker side with an extra set. Very important that we have strength in the rotator cuff. Most people don't work the rotator cuff enough. They spend all the time on the big muscles. They rarely work the rotator cuff. Get an extra tube and use it. And use it with all the other implements that you see. You know, you have the balance pad and you have the extra ball. All these things are going to help promote joint integrity. Here we're using the extra tube with the sleeve that's going to help promote the joint integrity of those shoulders. So we got all those John Travoltas, back and forth, and relax. Those are just a few of the exercises that you can do to promote joint integrity for your shoulders. Do those exercises and you're gonna have great results and you're gonna produce great performance. Continuing with joint integrity, we're next going to move to a wall. Very simple, we can find walls anywhere. We're going to do some what's called wall work. Very simple. We have our athletes stand just about 3 to 6 inches away from a wall, and they're going to place their hands up against the wall. The backs of their hands are touching the wall. It's the only thing touching the wall right now, and what we want to check is to see if their shoulder blades are pinched. And as they do that, the harder they press into the wall, the more they're going to work the joint integrity of the backs of their shoulders. Now this looks easy, but this is challenging. This really works the backs of the shoulders. So as they do that, they can squeeze. I like to go about 30 seconds. And they're squeezing, their posture is good. And what we're now going to rotate to the pinkies are against the wall, which again, we'd like to make different ranges of motion because the shoulder joint is a ball and socket joint. So you can see the athlete here really pinching their pinkies against the wall as they pinch, and then the palms of their hands go against the wall. Continuing to pinch. If you want to work harder, press harder. If you don't want to work as hard, then don't press quite as hard. You can actually see some trembling coming into the athlete here as they press, okay? About 60 to 60 seconds total, and relax, take a rest. Wall work, very simple to do, facing away from the wall, 3 different hand positions. We'd like to follow this up with the athlete facing the wall and to do a different couple hand positions as well. We're going to come up, same thing, we want to step between 3 to 6 inches away from the wall. Pinch the shoulder blades first. Pinching always precedes the movement. Palms of the hands go up against the wall and just gently press against the wall. This is a very safe, effective way to help build the strength of your shoulders, the ligaments and tendons of the shoulders. Okay, so we're just holding and pressing. Looks simple, is simple, but very challenging. Now let's rotate the hands so the backs of the hands are against the wall. We now rotated that and we're pinching the shoulder blades back. Okay, excellent for all of us overhead athletes, quarterback pitchers, overhead volleyball players, and relax, take a rest. Beautiful job on the wall work. Now the wall is very multi-dimensional, pretty cheap too because you have walls everywhere. We're going to add a medicine ball into the wall work. Now we're going to do med ball wall work. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. So we're now going to make it more difficult by using a medicine ball and do med ball wall work. We're going to have the athlete actually face the wall, and we're going to go wide elbows, overhead tosses, okay? So if you look at the athlete's elbows and they press the ball into the wall as hard as they can, we like to do this for about 30 seconds. They keep the pinch of their shoulders here with the wide elbows, and they have to coordinate the upper body. There's a coordination, a rhythm factor that goes into play here. About 30 seconds, about 50 tosses of that ball is really going to be challenging, and they're going to feel that in the shoulders big time. If you look at the angle, elbows are up high, and relax, take a rest. What do the coaches always say? Keep your elbows up, keep your elbows up. This is reinforcing elbows up nice and wide. Now, we're going to take the elbows and nice and narrow and do the exact same thing. So now we'll do narrow elbows, medicine ball overhead toss, okay? Same thing, get that rebound going. The further you're away, the harder it is, but we get that going. Elbows are up and we're squeezing on in. Once again, it changes the direction of the way the rotator cuff is working on this. You can see our athletes doing a phenomenal job here. Wide elbows and narrow elbows, and relax. Athletes, how'd that feel? A little burn in there, okay? So the wall, a light medicine ball, I actually prefer a lighter medicine ball in the beginning so you can get that rebounding effect, is a great way to build that. Now that was with 2 hands. We're now gonna take a peek at a medicine ball with 1 arm for the overhead athlete. Let's take a peek and see what we do with this. We're now gonna do medicine ball work into a wall using 1 arm. Now, if you're a quarterback, you're a pitcher, you're a volleyball player, we're gonna take a peek. We're gonna be at a flex T position. You're gonna try to coordinate this action. Okay, in the beginning, we'll start nice and close, and I like to do a little clockwork as the hand moves around at different angles. Because imagine this, if you're a quarterback, sometimes you have to change your angle of release to actually complete a pass. Also, when we're doing this, it is strengthening the tendons and ligaments in different set points of your elbow and your shoulder. So as we do this, about 30 seconds on one side, okay, just about another 10 seconds, you see the elasticity now that's being built in the shoulder. It's not just static, you've now got elasticity and time. Relax, take a rest. You have a very light 2-pound gel medicine ball there, which gets a little spring effect. Unbelievable for the shoulder. Unbelievable to help build all that strength of the shoulder, so that when he has to endure 9 innings of a long season, he can do that because the endurance is built up. So we're now, same thing, okay? We're gonna step a little further away and see how we do with that, okay? Same side, and we're just gonna go a little further away. Now you're gonna have to see him recoil a little bit more, getting that shoulder real involved. Also involves a little hand-eye coordination because he does have to coordinate that, and he's really now able to spring that ball into the wall. The wall is nice and reflecting back, okay? There you go. And you can see the athlete, you can see Josh here really working hard. His posture is good, core is strong, and really working that shoulder. All in the rotator cuff, all between the rhomboids is working. And relax, take a rest. That's really working well. If Josh is a left-handed pitcher, I do want to make sure that I work that right hand at least the same, if not more, than the left side, because typically there's an imbalance created there from years and years of throwing lefty. So I want to make sure we work both sides equal and opposite at all times. So when we're doing that wall work, static with the hands, then with the medicine ball, wide elbows, narrow elbows, 1 arm, clockwork coming all the way around, great exercises to help promote joint integrity of the shoulder. And we're really talking about here the overhead athlete and the person that's really looking to develop some strength in the shoulder. Awesome, awesome work to help develop that strength and joint integrity. The next series of exercises you're going to see are joint integrity for the upper body, specifically for the rotator cuff and shoulders. These exercises are imperative for the overhead athlete. If you're a quarterback, baseball pitcher, softball pitcher, volleyball player, these exercises are a must if you want to build joint integrity in the shoulder. All of the elite athletes I work with, the professional athletes, these are essential when they're a overhead athlete. Let's take a look at these exercises and what we're going to do. Now I'm going to have Josh actually increase the intensity by standing on these dyna discs. As we mentioned before, the importance of balance while doing joint integrity is very important. Balance is important in sports performance. So this dyna disc is going to really give him a nice balance progression as he comes up onto this. He bounces, stands on up. We start with very light dumbbells. We're going to come up into the flex T position. For all athletes, you hear, the quarterback, the coach always telling you, keep your shoulder up, keep your shoulder up. How often do you actually work at keeping your shoulder up? So we start in that flex T position, which actually elbows at 90 degrees right here, 90, 90, 90, shoulder blades are pinched. Just holding this up here with very light weights, 2.5, 3 pounds, up to 5 pounds maybe, is very challenging. And then relax for 1 second. The longer I keep your shoulders up, the harder it's gonna be. So as he's going through these exercises here, watch and see if we're seeing that. We want to pop them back on up. Flex T position. First exercise, John Travolta's. John Travolta's on just the right side. He's going to come down and in with that hand. Takes opposite thumb to opposite pocket. Okay, 10 down and in as he does it. Thumb goes down and in, thumb goes up and away. As he does this, John Travolta's 10 times on one side, and then he'll switch it up and go 10 times on the other side. Now, just holding this support arm up is working his small muscles around his shoulder. So he's doing 10 on one side, 10 the other. And as he's finished with that, that's part A. Let's hold there. Now we're gonna go to part B, where we actually do the option pitch. He's gonna bring it down and away, push, down and away. Okay, so he goes down and away, pulls it back up and in. Imagine that option quarterback taking that and pitching. Great for the shoulder because we're training overhead lightweight with rotation. Back and forth, and let's switch up the other way. I like to do 10 Travolta's part A, 10 part B, which is the part B, down and away. Very challenging as we do this. John Travolta's really pinching the shoulder blades, very lightweight. We're really conditioning the tendons and ligaments and small muscles of the body here, specifically the rotator cuff. There are 4 muscles in the rotator cuff. If we want to stop them and hold them, that's challenging right there. So as we do that, we're going to go into scarecrows next. We're up, elbows stay high, hands go down into internal rotation, external rotation, 10 to 15 times on that. So we're down and we're up. Now scarecrows, imagine a scarecrow out in the field just holding like that. He works on internal rotation, external rotation of those shoulders. He has nice strong core, he is balancing, you forgot about that part. You can do this on the ground, but we just progress this up onto the Dynadisc, which makes it more challenging and more difficult. Scarecrows, okay, we do that 10 to 15 times on that. If we need to rest any time, give them a little rest. We want high quality. Yes, the muscles are gonna fatigue, but you want quality repetition when we're doing this. Next one, we just did rotation, we did scarecrows up and down. We're gonna go now iron crosses. The light dumbbells will touch the sternum of the chest. We open, we squeeze into an iron cross. We hold for a split second and we return, okay? So his elbows are nice and high. He opens out into a flex T, there we go, into that nice iron cross position. Okay, pinching, holding. This actually is welcoming because it opens up the front side. If you are an overhead athlete, these are a must. All these exercises are a must. Iron crosses, lightweight, squeezing all the way back, strengthening up all the small muscles around the shoulder. Okay, you can work on those big muscles, your bench press and all those other muscles that you work, but if you don't have strong muscles in the small muscles, eventually the small muscles will break down and you will have rotator cuff problems or elbow problems. When he's done with his 10, we can always hold him if we want, or he relaxes on down. Okay, so that just holding there really accentuates the squeeze back and forth and relax all the way down. You can see that. Very good job on that one right there, Josh. Burning on that iron crosses. Now, we're gonna go with standing 3-way rows. Now, to get technical and to get scientific, when we're a rotational athlete, let's say we're a pitcher, you have different pitches, fastball, breaking ball, and changeup. You have your hands in different positions. We should train that way. We shouldn't always train in a fastball position. You know, all these different motions. We should train 1, 2, and 3. So the next exercise you're gonna see, standing 3-way rows are gonna incorporate different movements because the shoulder is a ball and socket joint. So as we come up, we're gonna come out, we're gonna squeeze all the way back 3 times, okay? There's 2 and there's 3. Good, now we'll go breaking ball position. He knows this well. Pinching all the way back, 2, 3. Change up position, thumbs go down. Elbows stay high on this one, don't let your elbows sink. 2, 3, hold back on out forward, nice, and relax, take a rest. Now we did 3, 3, 3 in there. You can do 5, 5, 5 if you like. The important thing is that you're really pinching your shoulder blades all the way on back and really getting that so you feel that real good on those. Clockwork, clockwork. Next one, pinkies, go to thumbs. 8 times we're gonna go pinkies to thumbs. Clockworks have 2 parts to them, okay? You're an overhead athlete, you should train with your hands and arms overhead as well. So as you do this, pinkies go to thumbs, okay? 8 times on that. And when you do your 8 times on that, and you can do a little heavier weight, sometimes maybe up to 8 pounds, maybe 10 pounds. You don't need to go too heavy on this because you're really working on those small muscles. Then when you go pinkies to thumbs, next you go to the palm, from the palms to the back of the hands. Okay, all the way around, palms to back of hands. Now you notice he's in all these different hand positions. Very important for an overhead athlete, the quarterback, the pitcher, to do this because of all the rotation at that shoulder joint. You are as strong as your weakest link. If you have a weak link, it's gonna break. And you're gonna break in that spot that you have not trained. That is why this is a very important area that we work on all this joint integrity for your upper body. Awesome. Good. Clockwork. 2 different hand positions. Pinkies, thumbs, palms to the back of the hands. So when you look at that, in quick review, flex T position, John Travolta's, you're going back and forth, okay? That's part A, back and forth. Then you're gonna have part B, down and away, down and away. You'll next have scarecrows, where you come up and you're going down and in, up and away. 10 to 15 repetition of the scarecrows, right into the iron crosses. Elbows stay nice and high. Opening, pinching your shoulder blades back and forth on that. Excellent job. Then we'll go into our standing three-way dumbbell shoulder raises. Three-way standing rows, back and forth. 1, 2, palms away, thumbs down. 3, into clockwork. Pinkies, thumbs, all the way around. Excellent. And palms to the back of the hands. Excellent work. And relax. Now you see, Josh is on Dynadisc, light weights, and he was feeling that, where, Josh? All in the shoulders and the arms, the whole musculotendinous junction of all those small muscles that we so often forget about. If you're an overhead athlete and you're looking to build joint integrity in your shoulders and your upper body, do those exercises right there. We'll also use the dumbbells with light weights. If you're looking to build joint integrity in your upper body, which I highly encourage you to do, especially if you're a young athlete or you're an athlete of any age that's looking to really stay injury-free and to maximize performance, when you build joint integrity in your upper body and you build core strength, you're looking at an athlete that's going to take your game to another level. You just saw the athlete there do a myriad of different exercises for joint integrity of the upper body. We're now going to take a peek at some of the same exercises and how you can vary the intensity to challenge your athlete. Here you have Josh balancing on a Swiss ball, which makes it extremely challenging. This is a very challenging because there's a balance component. Core and adductors have to be activated. So as they're doing this, the John Travolta, whatever action they're going to be doing, kneeling on a Swiss ball is extremely challenging. Over here you have Anna balancing on a Bosu ball. Now if her feet are on the ground, that makes it a little bit easier. So if her toes are touching the ground, that's easier. If she lifts up her legs, that's challenging. So she's doing all the same joint integrity exercises for the upper body while balancing on a Bosu or a Swiss ball. Kneeling on a Swiss ball is extremely challenging. All upper body exercises can be done while kneeling, and all upper body exercises can be done while on a Bosu. So when you take a peek at this, and if you can now stand up on that Bosu, okay, all these motions can be done through a myriad of different balance exercises. And we talk about balance exercises, we talk about Swiss ball, Bosu, balance pad, Dynadisc. You saw a lot of different types of movements in there today that can really challenge your athlete. And if you're a great coach, you want to find ways to challenge your athlete. Dynamic balance helps build joint integrity. When you're looking to build joint integrity, it's important to use extra cuffs, extra balls, extra tubes with the sleeve. All of these things are going to help produce joint integrity. Balance and stabilization are very, very important. Now we had some fun and made a multi-sensory environment. We want to do that with our athletes and with our clients. Have some fun with that work. All the work that you saw will help build joint integrity, the small muscles of the body, which will help produce the joint integrity. And remember, joint integrity is about building a strong foundation so you can build a monument upon that foundation. Thanks for joining us today, and remember, build your monument, build your foundation, and have some fun.
v.2 Performance presents an extraordinary new series of DVD programming guaranteed to improve your athletic abilities and overall fitness. 7 different DVDs in all, featuring Todd Durkin, Fitness Trainer of the Year and Personal Trainer of Drew Brees and LaDainian Tomlinson. The dynamic warm-up features over 25 of the most up-to-date warm-up techniques that are designed to improve flexibility, prevent injury, reinforce proper speed mechanics, activate your nervous system, and prepare your body for superior athletic performance. Joint Integrity shows you the most up-to-date exercises to strengthen and stabilize the tendons and muscles that support your joints. By applying these techniques, you will improve muscle symmetry and develop dynamic balance, which will help you in all sports. Core Conditioning features over 30 different techniques to strengthen and improve your core muscles. These exercises are designed to improve athletic performance and help prevent injuries for all athletes. In Sports Strength, you'll learn over 40 different techniques to improve your overall body strength, enhance your speed and athleticism, condition your entire body, and get bigger, faster, and stronger. In Explosive Power, you'll learn over 25 of the latest drills and exercises to improve your athletic power. These exercises are designed to improve speed and power through plyometrics, maximize fast twitch muscle fiber, increase vertical jumping abilities, and increase overall strength for all sports. Speed, agility, and quickness features the latest techniques and over 50 different drills and exercises to improve your athletic speed, agility, and quickness. Flexibility for Performance demonstrates the latest stretching and corrective movement techniques that are designed to help align and elongate your muscles and tendons. You'll learn how lengthening the connective tissue can improve an athlete's range of motion, accelerate recovery time, and relieve pain and stress through a series of yoga-influenced positions.